Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am your IYS English teacher for class 7. Welcome you to today's class. So, as you all know that we had completed the reading and explanation of unit number 1, the blind boy, and the textual question answers as well as the vocabulary exercises. And inshallah, today we are going to complete grammar. In that we will complete declarative sentences, and in composition section we will complete an essay writing, which will be a descriptive essay, and the topic of the essay will be an ideal personality. Okay, so dear students, are you all ready? So let's begin. First of all, I'm going to share the objectives of today's session. Objectives means I have set some goals that by the end of the session, students will be able to understand declarative sentences and complete the related exercises. Okay, so this is the first objective of today's session, that you will understand what are declarative sentences, and then after understanding, you will complete the related exercises. Then the second objective is comprehend the term descriptive essays. I hope that it will become easy for you to identify descriptive type of essays and write descriptive type of essays after today's session. The third objective is students will be able to understand the pattern of complaint letter and write a complaint letter on the given topic. Okay, so dear students, let's begin with today's topic. Our first topic is declarative sentences in grammar portion. Okay, to learn declarative sentences, first of all, we must know what is a sentence. How many of you know what is a sentence? Do you have any definition or any understanding of a sentence? Because sentences are what we learn in each and every subject. So, first of all, we must know what is a sentence. Then only we will understand the different types of sentences. Okay, so dear students, in grammar, a sentence is the basic grammatical unit. What is the meaning of basic? Basic means very important, means very base, the base of learning any language, and it is fundamental. Okay, the root of learning any language is called the basic grammatical unit. A sentence is the basic grammatical unit. A sentence, it means a sentence contains a group of words. Okay, a sentence contains a group of words and expresses a complete thought. Okay, so until and unless you get a complete thought, a sentence is not complete. So a sentence to be completed, it has to have a complete thought in it, means a complete message in it. Okay, then only we will understand the meaning of the sentence. Okay, now to comprehend kinds of sentences according to its purpose and structure, sentences are categorized in two ways. Okay, now what is the meaning? What is a sentence? Sentence is a group of words, means a collective thing, collective groups which express some thought and they give a complete meaning. So that group of words becomes a sentence when it gives a complete meaning to the reader. Okay, to understand different kinds of sentences according to its purpose. Purpose means need, and structure. Structure means how is a sentence made, what is used to make a sentence. To understand that point, sentences are categorized in two ways. First is by purpose, and second is by structure. So today we are going to focus on the first point, by purpose. Okay, so the sentence, the declarative sentence which we are going to learn is the sentence which is constructed by purpose. Okay, purpose means need. What is the need of that? Need of a situation is called the purpose. Okay, so let's move forward. So the different kinds of sentences by purpose are, there are five kinds of sentences, and dear students, let me tell you, you have to take screenshots of all the slides. Okay, as instructed earlier in the previous sessions, you have to take screenshots today also. This will help you in learning, and this will help you in doing your practice work. Okay, so the different kinds of sentences by purpose are of five kinds. Okay, the first is assertive or declarative sentences. interrogative sentences. Third is imperative sentences. Fourth is exclamatory sentences. And fifth is optative sentences. Okay, dear students, by time to time you all have learned these type of sentences. Okay, I know that you know what is an exclamatory sentence, what is an imperative sentence, what is an optative sentence, what is an interrogative sentence, and what are assertive or declarative sentences. Okay, I know that you all know, but time to time we need to revise it, we need to learn it again and again to make it to make our learning more strong. Okay, so today we are going to focus on the first one, that is assertive or declarative sentences. Now, what is the meaning of assertive? Assertive is an adjective form and declarative is also an adjective form of a word. So the verb form is to assert or to declare. So, dear students, to assert means to say something, and same is the meaning of declare. Declare means to say something, to declare something, to announce something, to let someone know what we are going to say. Whatever we say and whatever someone hears it and whatever someone gets to learn. जब हम कोई बात किसी को कहते हैं तो वो बात किसी को जब पता चलती है तो वो हमने असर्ट की है, हमने कुछ कहा है। ठीक है, जब किसी को हमें कोई बात कन्वे पड़ती है, हमें कन्वे करनी होती है या किसी को बताना पड़ती है, तो हम कुछ कहते हैं। सो हमने क्या किया, हमने असर्ट किया, एंड दैट sentence is called an assertive sentences or declarative sentences. Now, dear students, let me tell you one more important thing, that assertive sentences sometimes they are positive and sometimes they are negative also. Okay, so these type of sentences are called assertive. Assertive sentences have two branches. One is affirmative sentences, that means we are saying something positive, like I go to school. Okay, and sometimes assertive or declarative sentences are also negative. That means I do not go to school. I like English. I do not like English. So these two sentences are assertive, or we can say declarative sentences, in which we say something, whether we say positive or whether we say negative. And the positive thing which we say, the positive sentences which we say are called affirmative sentences. Okay, so dear students, let's move forward. So this is your textbook page. If you need to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot. You must take a screenshot rather. Okay, so dear students, a declarative sentence makes a statement. Statement means, again, whatever we say is called a statement. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Most sentences are declarative sentences. For example, Jack took pity on the beggar. So this is a declarative sentence from your unit number 1, the blind boy. Okay, Jack took pity on the beggar means the writer is declaring something, the writer is saying something, and this is an affirmative sentence because there is no negativity in it, no negative point in it. Okay, this is a positive sentence, that is why it is an affirmative sentence. Okay, now an interrogative sentence asks a question. For example, did Jack take pity on the beggar? Now the same sentence, Jack took pity on the beggar, is changed into interrogative sentence. And what is an interrogative sentence? An interrogative sentence asks a question in it. There is a question in an interrogative sentence. Okay. So you can make your narrative or expressive writing more interesting by introducing a question from time to time. For example, there were vague shapes in his world of darkness and patches of dull light. Perhaps the cane had magic powers. Was this what the voice in his Was this what the voice in his dream had meant? So, dear students, so dear students, you're seeing the use of the interrogative sentence in the above example changes the tone of the voice and pace. It addresses the reader directly and is a rhetorical question, one that does not expect a reality. So, what is the meaning of a rhetorical question? See, you can see this word here, rhetorical question. So, dear students, rhetorical question means a question that does not expect a reply. Okay, so dear students, this sentence is actually a this question is actually a sentence. Just it is presented in a form of in the form of a question. That means no, there is no need of a answer for this question. So this type of question is called a rhetorical question. So dear students, from this page, from the definition of declarative sentence, what you have learned today, that a declarative sentence makes a statement. That means a declarative sentence has some message in it, okay, some thought in it, okay, whether it is positive, whether it is negative, it is an assertive sentence, or we can also call it a declarative sentence. A declarative sentence has two types. One is affirmative sentence and the other is negative sentence, okay. And the same affirmative or negative sentence can be changed into an interrogative sentence by converting it into a question. Okay, what is an interrogative sentence? An interrogative sentence asks a question. So the same assertive or the declarative sentence can be converted into an interrogative sentence by just adding a helping verb before the subject of the sentence. Okay, Jack is the subject, take pity is the verb, take is the verb, and on the beggar is the object of the sentence. So as dear students, you know that subject plus verb plus object is the basic structure of an English sentence. So we must follow this structure, and we will move forward now. Now dear students, this is exercise B of your course book. Grammar exercise B of your course book. So dear students, you are supposed to take a screen share here. Change the following declarative sentences into interrogative sentences. So what is the direction? For whenever, dear students, when you see any question, whether it is a textual question or whether it is a question for any exercise, you must first understand what your question is asking you, what you have to do according to the given question. So in this exercise, you have to change the following declarative sentences. Following means which are below the question. So these are the following sentences. So these are declarative sentences. All these five, they are declarative sentences. You have to change these sentences into interrogative sentences. Now I will explain it to you how you will change these sentences into interrogative sentences. This activity is present in the course book on page number 15. Okay, so dear students, are you all ready? First sentence is Michael's aunt worked in a department store in town. So here the writer is talking about Michael's aunt. So Michael's aunt is the subject of this sentence. Okay, whatever word is followed with a verb, that word is the subject of the sentence. Okay, whether the subject has done the verb in the past, whether it is going to do it in the future, or whether it is working in the present. So जो भी सब्जेक्ट एक्शन करता है जिस सेंटेंस में, जो भी वर्ड जो है वो एक्शन परफॉर्म करता है, दैट वर्ड इज कॉल्ड सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस. Then we have the verb in the sentence, English sentence, and rest of the part is called the object of the sentence. Okay, so now you have to change this into interrogative sentence. So how will it be changed into a question? See, this is the answer of the first sentence. Did Michael's aunt work in a department store in town? So now see, the question is ending on a question mark. The full stop has been removed, and question mark is used to show a mark of interrogation. Okay, mark of interrogation is added to make it a question, and before the subject, Michael's aunt is the subject of the sentence. Usse pehle we have added did. So why we have added did? Because the verb is in second form, is in past simple. So the structure answer will be, did Michael's aunt work in a department store in town? So dear students, this is the question and this is the answer. Okay, Michael's aunt worked in a department store in town. So this is an assertive or a declarative sentence because it has a positive message here. Okay, now let's move towards the second one. Mary does not care who disapproves of her. मैरी बिल्कुल ख्याल नहीं करती कि कोई उसे पसंद करता है या नहीं करता. So Mary does not care. See, this is the verb. Care is the verb, but before that we have does not. Why we are using here does? Because Mary is a singular noun. So Mary does not. That means it is a negative sentence. In declarative sentence, this is the negative form of a declarative sentence because there is a negative word used here. Okay. So Mary does not care who disapproves of her. Now we have to change it into a question. We have to change it into a question. So what will be the answer? Does Mary care who disapproves of her? Does Mary care who disapproves of her? That means this sentence is asking a question. क्या मैरी परवाह करती है कि कोई उसे पसंद करता है या नहीं? क्या मैरी परवाह करती है कि उसे कोई पसंद करता है या नहीं? एंड व्हाट इज द क्वेश्चन? व्हाट इज द डिक्लेरेटिव सेंटेंस? मैरी डज नॉट केयर। मैरी बिल्कुल परवाह नहीं करती कि कोई उसे पसंद करता है या नहीं। ओके सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, third one, the price of petrol went up again last week. Again, this, which is the kind of declarative sentence? Which kind of declarative sentence is this, dear students? Can you give the answer? Oh, yes, very good. This is a declarative sentence which is a positive affirmative sentence. Okay, because the statement is giving a positive statement, a positive declaration that the price of petrol went up again last week. So, dear students, what will be the interrogative type of this? Did the price of petrol go up again last week? So why we are using here did? Helping verb did is used because here in the declarative sentence we have verb in the second form. Okay, that means this is the sentence. This is a sentence in past simple. Now the fourth one is there is something wrong with Lucy's car. There is something wrong with Lucy's car again is a positive statement and affirmative statement because there is no negative thing here. Okay, the writer is not negating anything. So what will be the interrogative sentence of this one? Is there something wrong with Lucy's car? See, you can see the helping verb before the subject of the sentence. Okay, now fifth one, his brother plays for the local soccer club. So this is a declarative sentence, but it is an affirmative sentence. It is not a negative sentence. Okay. So what will be the interrogative sentence of this? What will be, how will we form a question from this sentence? Again, we will use helping verb before the subject. Does is the helping verb and her brother is the subject of the sentence. So we will use here does her brother play for the local soccer club. So this will be the interrogative form of the declarative sentence, affirmative sentence. Okay, so dear students, you must take a screenshot of this slide, and you can easily notice that all the interrogative sentences have a starting with a helping verb. First one has did because it is a sentence of past tense. Second has the helping verb does because it is a sentence in the present simple tense. Did again it is a sentence of past tense. Is there something wrong? That is again used to show present simple. And here, dear students, helping verb will be used according to the subject of the sentence. Okay, does is used because the sentence the declarative sentence is in present simple tense. Very good. Okay, so dear students, take a screenshot of this. This is the these are the answers of your exercise B on course book page number 15. These are the answers which I have given. Okay, so let's move forward. Dear students, you have to take screenshot of the slide. This is the page of your workbook, page number 11 of your workbook. As you all know that you have a course book and you have a workbook to do some work. Okay, so dear students, take screenshot of page number 11 quickly so that we can move forward. I will explain to you. I'll give you instructions related to this sentence later. First, take the screenshot of it. Okay. And what is the question? Are these sentences declarative or interrogative? Add the correct punctuation mark at the end of each sentence. Okay. So you know that by now you must know that a declarative sentence ends with a full stop and an interrogative sentence ends with a Question mark. See, are these sentences declarative or interrogative? This is in itself an interrogative sentence because it is ending in a question mark. And add the correct punctuation mark at the end of each sentence. So this is an imperative sentence, let me tell you, and this is ending on a full stop. Declarative sentences and imperative sentences, these sentences end in a full stop. Okay, so dear students, you have to read the sentence, you have to find out whether it is a question or a declarative statement. Okay, and then you have to use the proper marks of punctuation. See, you can see there are no punctuation marks at the end of the sentence, so you have to put the punctuation correct punctuation mark according to the type of the sentence. Okay, dear students. See, this is the fourth, fifth, and sixth of exercise A, and this is exercise B. This is also present in the workbook on page number 12. These are the grammar exercises of unit number 1 of your workbook on page number 11 and page number 12. Okay, so dear students, now we are moving towards our next topic, and that is essay writing. I guess some students face difficulty in writing an essay on any unknown topic. Some students are habitual of learning and revising and memorizing essays. But the main thing of essay writing is that you must write an essay on your own. Then only uh, the teaching uh, can be fruitful. Okay, so when the teaching becomes fruitful, when the students are able to write an essay on their own. So first of all, you must understand the different types of essays for writing an essay. If you know the different types, you can easily write an essay on any given topic. Okay, so dear students, let's move forward. See, here you can see a colorful slide in which there are four things mentioned. There are four headings: narrative, descriptive, expository, and persuasive. So, dear students, what are these? These are types of essays. There are basically five main types of essays, but according to your class level, I am just explaining to you these four types because these four types of essays belong to your class and your age level. Okay, so first is narrative essay. What is a narrative essay? Narrative essay is an essay in which there is a story. The author writes on any event, on any account, and the reader feels like he is reading a story. So that type of essays are called narrative essays. The second type is descriptive essay. So what is a descriptive essay? A descriptive essay puts a picture in your head. That does not mean that someone is opening your head and putting a picture in it. The picture is created through words. Okay, dear students, on any given topic, when the writer writes on it, and while reading you get a picture of something, you get an imagination, a description of something, that is called a descriptive essay. So what is a descriptive essay? A descriptive essay is a piece of writing which puts a picture in your head, picture through words. Okay, now the next is expository. Expository means to expose something, to open up some topic. So that means when you read expository type of sentences, you get some explanation on some points. Okay, so what is that? Expository sentences have the quality of explaining something. That something can be any topic, any issue. Okay, so dear students, next topic is persuasive. Persuasive means someone is trying to convince you with that piece of writing. So what is a persuasive type of essay? It wants the audience to agree. That means the writer is persuading you, the writer is forcing you to think like him or her. Whatever the writer has the thought about that topic or that situation or that thing, and writer writes according to that thinking, that thought, and the writer needs you, the audience means the reader of the essay, to agree on his point. That type of essays are called persuasive essays. So dear students, let's move forward. Today we are going to focus on descriptive essays. What are we going to focus today? We are going to focus on descriptive essay and Okay. So, what are a descriptive essays? Descriptive essays are those essays which give you a picture through words. Whenever you read these type of essays, you get a picture of something. You get a complete description of a person, of a place, of any event, of any idea, or any personality. Okay. So, dear students, let's move forward. In descriptive essays, what do we get? In descriptive essays, a writer describes a place, a person, an object, or any event from a memory. The writer creates a picture through his or her words. So, dear students, our focus today is descriptive essay, and our topic today is an ideal personality. Okay, I hope you. I'll repeat the previous slide. Please take a screenshot of that so that you can revise it. What are descriptive essays? Descriptive essays are essays in which a writer describes a place, a person, an object, or any event from a memory, and the writer creates a picture through his or her words. Okay, an ideal personality, and today our ideal personality, which I have selected for you all, is Abdul Sattar Idhi. Now, who is Abdul Sattar Idhi? Do you know? Do you know who is Abdul Sattar Idi? Yes, you are right. Abdul Sattar Idi does not need any introduction. He is Who is Abdul Sattar Idi? Abdul Sattar Idi is a philanthropist. He was a social worker. He has set many examples. He has his name in Guinness Book of World Records for running such a huge social service site, or we can say social service. Okay, and that social service called edhi edhi trust or edhi foundation. Okay, so there you must know how to write an essay. We must introduce the topic first, then we have the main body of the essay, and we have the conclusion part. So these are the three main parts of essay writing, as you all have learned from the basic classes, from the beginning classes. Okay, and time to time through different types of essays we will learn how to introduce any topic, what all we have in the main body of the essay, and how to conclude means how to bring to an end. Okay, how to wind up your topic. So that is called the conclusion part, and all these parts are very important while writing an essay. If you miss out any part, your essay writing will be incomplete. Okay, so dear students, I do not have any formal education. What use is education when we do not become human beings? My school is the welfare of humanity. So this is a famous quote of Abdul Sattar Idhi. So while writing an essay, famous quotes you must compile in your essay to make your essay look attractive for the reader. So I have begun this essay with a famous quote of Abdul Sattar Idi, in which there is an introduction of Abdul Sattar Idi, that he did not have any formal education, yet he was so famous all around the world. He All around the world, he had gained so much respect throughout the world. Each and every country of the world, all the people knew him by his name, Abdul Sattar Idi, though he was not educated. His What he's saying, my school is the welfare of humanity. That means he's saying that basic education is not necessary to be a human being. You must learn the serving of humanity, and this he has proved through his life, his actions all through his life till his death. Throughout his life, Abdul Sattar Idi has set examples for the world to follow. More work and less talk remained his principle till the very end. He is known as Angel of Mercy and is considered as Pakistan's most respected and legendary figure. Everyone must get much motivated to read about his struggles, efforts, and hardships through his journey. Now, the writer is describing Abdul Sattar Idhi through his words. Okay, so as you read the essay, you will get a picture of Abdul Sattar Idhi's life. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Please wait. We are going to focus on this essay now. He started giving one paisa each day to someone in need. Since his childhood, he had feeling of serving humanity developed by his mother. His mother used to give him some amount, a small amount, because he was very poor. He belonged to a poor family, not so rich. So he started giving 1 paisa each day. Mhm. By the time, see, so over here, he later expanded his charity network with the help of his wife. Later in childhood, his mother was his support, his motivation, and later on, his wife helped him in expanding his charity network. Over his lifetime, ED Foundation expanded back and entirely with private donations, including establishing a network of 1800 minivan ambulances. See, so he started with a single pesa, and from time to time, with the passage of time, he had a network of 1800 minivan ambulances. That means he had such a strong desire to serve humanity that he went to ask donations. He asked for money like a beggar to serve humanity. He did not ask for money for himself to feed himself, to feed his family. He asked for money for people to serve the humanity. And by the time of his death, Edhi was registered as a parent or guardian of nearly 20,000 children. So, dear students, you can see how he spent his life, how he contributed his whole life for the serving of humanity, for the service of humanity. Okay, so dear students, see how each and every word is describing what Abdul Sattar Idhi was, what he did, how he spent his life. So this type of essay is called a descriptive essay, in which we are describing our personality. Okay, so what is a descriptive essay? A descriptive essay describes a person, a place, any event of your life, or any uh, memory, any thought of your life. Okay, so dear students, here you can also add any device. Okay, any device like a computer, like a mobile phone, like a pen, like a book. So whatever important points you can use, you must use in making your essay more attractive for the reader. So dear students, to focusing on today's task, take any topic and start to write according to the structure of essay writing. That means first is the introduction of the topic, second is the main body, in which you must include all the details which you know about that topic. So when you start writing yourself, you take help from someone, you make your essay writing checked by someone, you will be able to write, you will develop a self interest in writing an essay. So dear students, you must follow. So today is your topic is descriptive. Okay, so you must follow how to write an essay. What is an essay? First you must know, to describe something in detail is called a descriptive essay. So for Abdul Sattar Idi, we have a lot to write, but you must write according to your age level and the demand of your question. In your question paper, you get this question: write an essay of 100 to 150 or 120 words on the given topic. Okay, so dear students, so what are we going to do now? We are going to see the concluding part of the essay. The concluding part of this essay, that means we are winding up our essay. Okay, we are ending our essay. So this ending is very necessary, because if you don't start writing with introduction, your essay will be incomplete. If you write just the introduction and just the concluding part, your essay will be incomplete, because there is no detail about the topic in between. That is, the main body of the essay is missing. And if you don't write the concluding part, your essay will be incomplete. The reader will not get to know whether you want to write something more or you are going to end your topic now. Okay, so what are the basic things of essay writing? First, आपको topic को introduce करना है. Then in the main part क्या आता है? You have to write the complete detail, whether it is negative, whether it is positive, all the details of the given topic. Okay, in descriptive there are no negative and positive, but there is only complete description of the person or the place or the memory or the thought. Okay, and in the concluding part, you must give any message, or you must leave any question for the reader to answer. Rhetorical question. Okay, what I explained in the beginning, a rhetorical question. What is a rhetorical question? It is a question that is sentence in itself. A rhetorical question does not need any answer. Okay, so, what is the concluding part of today's topic? We lost this angel of mercy on 8th July 2016. Let us all take a pledge to follow the footsteps of this world's richest poor man and serve the humanity selflessly. So, what is the writer asking us to do in the concluding part? In the concluding part, the writer has shared with us the date on which we had a great loss. That means we lost this gem. We lost this world's richest poor person. He had got this title, world's richest poor man. And we must take a pledge. We must take a pledge means we must take an oath. हमें कसम उठानी है, कसम उठानी चाहिए कि हम अब्दुल सत्तार ईधी के नक्शे कदम पर चलेंगे और उनकी तरह पूरी ह्यूमैनिटी की हेल्प करेंगे. Okay, so dear students, let's move forward. This is the home task for you all. I hope you all have completed the previous task in your copies. According to the given instruction for this task, you have to use your grammar portion and your grammar and composition portion. Okay. In the first task, you have to complete all the given work in your course book. Okay. So for grammar, uh, at present you don't have to use the copy. Okay, but you must make a grammar and composition separate portion in your copy. You have to divide your copy into two portions. Complete all the given work in course book. So yeah, according to the given task, you have to complete your grammar exercises of your course book in course book itself. Okay, now second point is complete grammar exercises of workbook given on page number 11 and 12. So the exercises of the workbook also will be completed in the workbook itself. Okay, no need of using your copy for grammar work until my instructions. Okay, please wait for my instructions. Whenever I pass on the instructions of using your grammar portion, you will do it right. Okay. Now, the third point is copy down the given essay and ideal personality in your grammar and composition portion with proper heading and neat presentation. What is required? A neat presentation, that means proper heading of composition portion, essay writing, and then you will give the proper heading and ideal personality, and you have to do your work neatly. Okay, neat and tidy work you must do by using proper tempo markers, blue, black, and your proper ink pen and proper black pointer for questions. Okay, so dear students, I hope, I wish you all to I wish you all the best to carry on with our new session online, so that when we meet again, we will meet with a proper clarity of how to do work. Whatever you have learned, you will be able to do it and explain it properly. Okay, dear students, you must have a complete revision daily, revise daily whatever you have learned. Okay, don't neglect your studies. Okay, dear students, because online is just only the mean of communication between us nowadays. Okay, in future when we will meet, we teachers hope to see a neat presentation of all copies of all subjects. Okay, so dear students, so that was all from today's class. We will meet inshallah in the next class. Till then, take care. Allah